Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. Welcome to Throwback Thursday. We are in the back magic room of Baxter Cycle, and look what we have for a ride today. This is a 1967 BSA Spitfire. Just check that hot rod out. It says Spitfire Special Mark III. Just a gorgeous example of a motorcycle. These have a 654cc parallel twin, air-cooled, overhead valves. The cams are down here somewhere. Twin carburetors. Those look like Amals to me. 4-speed transmission. This is a unit engine. The transmission and the engine are all one piece. That's one of the things that caught me about this, is how everything is so smooth and runs together, you know, rounded and flush, and very well done in that sense. You know, you can just kind of run your hand over everything. I don't want to use the word bulbous, but something like that. Very well done. Good looking engine. Kickstart only, of course. 4-speed, like I said. Very nice. Very nice. The brakes are supposed to be, the front's supposed to be an 8-inch dual leading shoe. Now that's not a dual leading shoe, I don't believe anyway. And so I got to looking at some of these other BSAs that are sitting over here. These are dual leading shoes. This one is, that one is, that one is in these motorcycles, but I don't believe that one is. The rear brake is supposed to be a 7-inch single leading shoe, and inside the hub, of course, is as usual for the day. And the wheelbase on this bike is supposed to be about 56 inches, which is about 1,422 millimeters. Weight of a motorcycle like this, 408 pounds, it's 185 kilograms. So pretty good, you know, 53 horsepower, by the way, it's 53 horsepower. 53 horsepower, 408 pounds, that's pretty darn good. You know, it probably ran pretty good for its time. I think one of the things I read said it would go 120 miles maybe, 120 miles an hour, one of the tests they did back in the day. In its time, it was supposed to be one of the faster BSAs right out of the box. So very nice in that sense. Fuel tank is 2 gallons, that's 7.6 liters. And it's a fiberglass tank. And I'm guessing these side covers are fiberglass too. Maybe they're plastic, but I would guess fiberglass. So, you know, this is where a bolt goes through to hold the tank down. Fuel filler, of course. Like I said, 2-gallon tank. What got me interested in this motorcycle was a couple weeks ago, I was in here and they had a Hornet. It was up in the shop area over there, up on the lift. I had never seen one before. And the engine caught me right away, the way the engine looked. And it was just kind of an interesting bike. Now the Hornet is the bike before this. The Hornet is their off-road version of this bike, or the desert sled kind of thing. It had supposed to have a little more compression, maybe a little more horsepower, no lights. You know, it's supposed to be a little lighter, and I think it had the same gas tank and stuff like that, but more of a race version. You know what? That bike's in the other room. We'll go get a look at that later in a little bit, but we'll get back to that. So let's get a closer look at this thing. We'll start with the front end. Very interesting looking air-cooled brakes, of course. You know, the ribbed here, the little gaps here. This is a single leading shoe. Covered forks, I don't know what diameter they are. Coming up here, we already talked about the tank, the engine. This is a tack drive right here. Tack right there. Speedo drive is off the rear wheel. Comes all the way around. You know, back in the day, that was very common. Fork adjusters right there. This is normal rear dual shock. The frame, if you look at the frame, it looks very light, doesn't it? You know, very thin tubed. Maybe that's why the bike was so lightweight. I love looking at in like through here, you know, the dual Amals, all the finning. That, you know, I already talked about the roundness. This is a dry sump engine. So the oil tank is right over here. It's underneath this cover, so it's kind of stylized. You know, here's the mechanical rear brake. You know, the drums in there, sprocket, the adjuster again. Got these pea shooter style mufflers. Very interesting. I think a lot of these would have little vents here to cover these up, keep things from getting in there for cooling on the brakes. Of course, metal fenders and all that neat stuff. Look at that seat. Little hump there to hold you on, right? Very solid bar, that's for sure. Coming up here, Mirror. I'm not sure if this is the ignition or not. I assume it is. No key in the bike. Guessing one of these is a horn, maybe a kill button, high-low button maybe for the headlight. Over here is a, these would usually have an off, a daytime running, and then a on, you know, night mode, and then you'd have high-low over here. So let's put that back to where it was. This is probably either a high-low beam or an oil light. Choke most likely. Of course the gas. Mechanical clutch. There's the adjuster. That's an interesting looking thing. I've never seen one like that. And of course over here is the brake. Mechanical brake too. You know, all the way up to here. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that. Let's come over here and take a look at these other BSAs. Similar. Nope, different. Interesting. Interesting indeed. 2 carburetors, so 2 throttle cables. You know, modern motorcycles have 2 throttle cables, one for pull, one for push. This had one for each carburetor, and then a spring would do the return. Low end mirror down here. This is most likely a steering dampener. I've never owned a motorcycle where I've had to use a steering dampener, so I don't know much about that. And up here is the amp meter, by the way. Very nice looking bike. I like it. I like it a lot. If y'all have any interest in a motorcycle like this or any of these other BSAs or Triumphs or Nortons or anything like this, get a hold of Randy at Baxter Cycle, baxtercycle.com. He can tell you all about it. I think what we'll do right now is we'll run over to the next room and take a look at that Hornet. Let's get over there. Wahoo! Okay, we are in the shop next door, and this is the Hornet, and this is probably a 66. I'm not sure the year. This was the, you know, there's no lights. If you look at this, it's got the high pipes, no exhaust pipes on it. Very different looking in that sense. It's got the same, you know, similar tank, side covers, engine of course. My understanding is that these had a higher compression engine. I don't know that for sure. You know, getting information off the internet for this is kind of sketchy. This also has a single leading shoe brake. No headlight, no taillight, no electronics, just a tachometer. All you need to know, right? Kickstart, of course. There's the, you know, heat shield on the pipes. Very interesting. That's what caught me about these originally, was the interesting looking engine on these. Kind of an interesting, very good looking motorcycle to my eye, you know, from its time. Nice chrome fenders. I wonder what these are down here. Gorgeous, gorgeous motorcycle. Hey, if you all are interested in anything like this, get a hold of Randy at baxtercycle.com. Tell him Fuzzy Biker sent you, and tell him we need to drive some of these bikes. He's the guy that can give us permission. All right, y'all, get out there and ride. Wahoo!